Welcome, everybody. And today we have two podcasts in once because one part I'm going to ask Kev the questions and Kev will gonna ask me questions after. So you get two in one podcast. And my podcast is the Human Light Bulbs podcast. And I talk in this podcast with really inspiring human beings that shine their light into the world. And I love bringing these lovely people all to you. And I myself, I call myself MissHellbreaker because Hellbreaker is my real surname. In Dutch, it's Hellebrekers. And I really call that myself because I really am here to help free people on all levels, and I want to help people and support people and also let them know you're not the only one crazy different person in this world. We are here with you. And yeah, today I'm here with Kev the Poet. So welcome.
Thank you very much. So yes, I'll also give my introduction. Wagwan and what's up, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Love yourselves and love each other. I'm Kev the Poet, your host for nice and kind conversations, promoting positive people doing positive things for Operation Bless Everything. And today also your guest for Human Light Bulbs.
Yay! And you say you have Operation Bless Everything. What is that? What is that?
Operation Bless Everything is it's primarily a Facebook group where I share anything positive. It can be anything from friends projects to positive music to positive memes, just things that are inspiring and positive. It's my attempt to provide social media with something other than the negativity that it's often known for.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So we'll share the link as well to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And what are the other things that you do?
Well, I'm a poet, performance poet, musician, rapper, also a teacher. I trained as a Steiner School kindergarten, Waldorf Steiner School kindergarten teacher. And yes, I also have a project where I'm interviewing people who are doing positive projects, finding out more about their projects and promoting their positive things, because I have a lot of connections with a lot of powerful, positive people, and they could be more powerful and more positive with more promotion. So I can play that role.
Oh, nice. And when did you like how long are you doing mostly also poetry? And where can people find that? And how long are you doing that? Maybe you can talk about that a bit.
Okay, yeah, I've been writing poems since I was very young. I think I wrote my first poem when I was around 11. And yeah, you can find my music and my poetry. I release a lot of the newest stuff on SoundCloud. I can provide my SoundCloud link. Most of my finished projects are on Bandcamp, which is kpkevthepoet.bandcamp.com. And that's got lots of collaborations with like hang drum players, as well as collaborations with producers. So most of my output is similar to hip hop, but there's also some reggae and some soul, and I like my focus to be on positive affirmations. A lot of my lyrics are full of positive affirmations, but also, you know, I don't shy from the shadows. So I speak about a lot of the journeys I've been on and lessons I've had to learn.
Yeah, and I heard you sing once, and I was like, "Ooh, this guy knows a lot of dropping knowledge as well and truth," and I really loved it. And that is really really cool what you're sharing, because it's maybe different what people are used to listening to, because you really like give a lot of really deep knowledge also, and I really like that you shared that. And can you share maybe a bit about your journey of like finding out like that the world is a bit different than you thought, or like than you got learned at school?
Yeah, I guess there's two parts to that, or two main parts to that that come to mind. The journey of awareness, I guess. And there's, in my mind, when you say this, I'm thinking of both the political awareness and spiritual awareness. And they're related in this just journey of becoming more enlightened, but they're quite different. Um, my spiritual awareness started earlier. I I was raised a Christian, but I was always very curious about forms of spirituality. I think my strange but early thought process was, okay, if we're alive for maybe 80, 90 years, but if there's an afterlife that could be eternal, then my priority is what happens for eternity after the 80, 90 years, because in totality, that should be important. And part of my journey started when I saw the yin yang symbol, and I was really intrigued by it. So I'd only seen it in like kung fu movies and things like this as a child. And when I was about 11 or 12, I read the Tao Te Ching, which is an ancient book of Chinese wisdom. And so, yeah, reading the Tao Te Ching age 12 was a large part of what made me different, as far as my thought processes being different and my focus being on spirituality. And then yeah, to cut a long story short, I found the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying when I was about 18, and throughout my 20s I met Druids, Wiccans, and Buddhists, and I expanded my knowledge and my experience with sweat lodges and ceremonies and rituals, from Stonehenge to Avebury to medicine ceremonies as well. So yeah, spirituality became a large part of my path. However, I'm also aware that I cannot actually define what it means to be spiritual. And in my experience, the conclusion I've come to recently is that emotional intelligence, the ability to forgive, the ability to not suppress anger, but to work through anger and express it in healthy ways, these practical psychological benefits to things like meditation, I think they're more important than how many ayahuasca ceremonies you've had or how many crystals you have, etc. So yeah, for what it's worth, I think the most important part of spiritual growth currently is emotional intelligence. And yeah, this political side also in stages, but one of the, I guess the two biggest eye openers for me were the Iraq War and the 9/11 attacks. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about either, because I find it's not healthy to focus on the negative, but it's an important part of the journey. So yeah, with the Iraq War, one of the biggest protests that England ever saw was for that war not to happen. So to me, that was like a mandate from the public. Oh, this is not what we want. And they completely ignored us. And we later discovered that they ignored us under the pretense of a search for weapons of mass destruction that they knew they would never find. And yeah, it taught me that politicians will lie to the public for financial gain. And yeah, now Iraq's oil belongs to Shell. I haven't got all the details right in front of me, but the bottom line is that a private corporation profited massively from the deaths of thousands of people. And yeah, that stayed in my head as an example of what evil politicians and politics can do. Maybe not even necessarily thinking we'll kill this many people to make this much money, but that was the path that was taken by our leaders. And so since then, I've never really trusted politicians or the media. And yeah, I'll go into less detail, but the 9/11 attacks, there were massive holes in the official story, and the results of the restrictions when you're flying and all these freedoms that they took away with the Patriot Act. It was another example of, in my opinion, of deceit being used by our so-called leaders. So yeah, that was another eye-opener for me. And the more I learned about the 9/11 attacks, the shadier the whole thing seems. And there have
Yeah,
been plenty of other examples since, but those were the first two that really woke me up.
yeah. So that was the first that you really like, hey, there's more going on.
Yeah.
And I think more and more people are like opening up to that. There's more to this reality. And I first thought it was like that it was like 2020 when people were really starting to see, but I feel it's really happening now. Do you also have that feeling?
I think that everything happens in stages and unfolds like fractals. So a lot of people were awake to a lot of spirituality in around 2012 when the Mayan calendar was ending. And like you, I also saw and felt a lot of awakening around 2020 when we all went into lockdown. It forced isolation for a lot of people, and that isolation forced introspection for a lot of people. A lot of people realized they didn't have to go to work or they didn't have to travel to go to work. A lot of people had moments to assess their lives and think about what they're doing and why they're doing it, and where they're working, who their spouse is, who they live with, where they live, all these things that people might not have had an opportunity to ponder before because they just have to work to pay rent all the time. They suddenly are told to stay at home, and they're given an opportunity to ponder things. So just in talking to my friends, I I would agree with your earlier assertion that things were growing and people were becoming more aware in around 2020. But also, yeah, right now, and I can only speak from my own experience, and maybe in a year or two, or in a month or two, I can look back at this time and have a more bird's eye view of what's going on. But I've seen a lot of synchronicity in my life recently, and yeah, I've had a lot of inspiring conversations with people, and it feels like a lot of people are awakening, right now and around this time. So yeah, I would agree with all three, to be honest. Like I added 2012, but yeah, I do feel like there was an awakening around 2020, but I also feel like there's an awakening happening now.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But still, there's a lot of people that not like know what is going on or like have a like an idea what is happening. There's a lot of people that are like struggling. So that's why it's really good that you have like a message of positivity and want to put that in. And what would you say to people that are like now having like a bad time and are struggling? What would you like? Would you would like advise or message?
Well, that's a really good question. Short answer: love yourselves and love each other. Slightly longer answer, especially with regards to depression and people who are struggling. Everything changes. So as dark as things may seem right now, the future is always infinite potential. So you do not know who you will meet today or who you will meet tomorrow, what opportunities you will be given today or what opportunities you may be given tomorrow. So stay optimistic and don't give up.
Yes, yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you for letting people know. And do you have an idea also what you like even though we never know what's going to happen, and the infinite like possibilities of the future, what is how you view it, or like what will happen, or like what you think is could be a possibility.
Interesting question. I'm actually writing a story about inspired by the ideas of what could happen in the future, and the world splits into a more technological and more capitalist dystopia, and a more sustainable and harmonious utopia. And that seems to be what I'm perceiving as in reality. As but yeah, as I say, the future is always infinite potential, so I will add that caveat. But yeah, the mainstream world seems like it's becoming more focused on superficiality. Social media is making people more social, more superficial, yet at the same time more socially aware, and information spreading a lot faster. So social media and technology is a double-edged sword. I don't think it's all negative. Even capitalism, I do not think is all negative, but I see where both technology and capitalism are having negative effects on society. And I can see where the extremes would go if things continue in that direction. Idiocracy is an amazing comedy movie, which yeah, it really shows you how the extremes could go. But yeah, to focus on the positive, I'm also seeing a lot of people rejecting mainstream society, a lot of people moving on to sustainable farms, or just having their own gardens and growing their own food, just becoming more self-sustainable in general. I'm seeing a lot of people using more holistic healing, a lot of people using more natural methods of healing. And yeah, I feel like the issue of capitalism is that it encourages competition rather than collaboration. And in nature, it's not so much survival of the fittest, but the often the animals and plants that collaborate that are the most successful. So rather than competition, collaboration, rather than isolation, community, because we need solitude sometimes, but human beings also need community and to work together, to be social, to share our issues and get things off our hearts.
Yeah, and I think also we're going to be more uniting with each other and
Exactly.
cooperating.
Exactly. Uniting, collaborating, yeah, working communally and helping each other, basically. So yeah, I see the world going in these two directions, but I think they'll always, intertwine. It's not like all the nice people are going to be totally isolated from all the people who want technology, or all the people who want to fight for their capitalist goals. I feel like we'll all be influencing each other, and technology can be used in positive ways, and money can be used in positive ways.
Yeah, and that's also something really interesting, because there's like in the spiritual community, they say like a lot of people that like reject money or don't like money, and you can have a different way with it. You can have a different view on it. Maybe you can, share your perspective on that.
Yeah, that's complicated, to be honest. I don't know is the bottom line, really. I don't know if, for example, that basic there was a term for when a basic income. I'm just going to look for a file because it might help me to jog my memory. But yeah, if we were to abolish money altogether, or if we were to live in an entirely anarchist community, or if we were to live in a communist community that was actually implemented in a fair and just way, because to my knowledge, communism on paper and communism in reality have never actually, it's never actually been realized in a way that wasn't abused by the people in charge. But yeah, the word I was looking for was financial reform and universal basic income. And yeah, the phrase universal basic income is for if the population was given a bottom balance, everybody was given a certain amount of money each month. And there's money for it. That's one of the things that frustrates me about politics, is that they'll talk about, oh, we have this budget and we don't really have enough money for schools, or we don't have enough money for this positive project. But we've poured billions of dollars into this war nobody wants. And it seems to just go over people's heads that we're constantly told that there's no money. And then when they need money for whatever they want, whether it's fighter jets, tanks, or a statue of some politician, there's always funding for it. And yeah, some people claim that there are billions in black budgets for deep state military projects, but even the money that they declare, they could spend on more than just, new roads and new bombs. There's billions, but only in practice can we see how this works. I'm sure if they gave lots of people a universal basic income, some people would spend it on drugs, some people would spend it on alcohol, but I think a lot of people would start the projects they've been dreaming of starting, and it would fund the art projects and community projects that a lot of people have thought of starting. So I have theories about financial reform, but I'm not an expert in the subject. But I'm very curious about these things. So you can tell that I've done some research, but I don't have answers. I don't know how humanity would react if there was no government and it was an entirely anarchist existence. And for the record, anarchist doesn't necessarily mean, and this is not necessarily for you, but for the audience, anarchist and anarchy doesn't necessarily mean chaos and drama. It just means no rulers and no leaders. It's just unfortunate that most people seem to associate the idea of no gods, no masters, or no leaders, or no government with the thought that we would be in chaos or disharmony. Because most of the time when I've seen communities or squats or anything where there was no official leader, they've been harmonious. People tend to look after each other and look after themselves. So there's no reason why no leaders or no politicians should be associated with chaos, especially when you see all the chaos and destruction that our current leaders and politicians are creating.
And I think that people need to learn to govern and lead themselves, but then they also have to step up to take that responsibility.
Agreed.
We will see. We will see what will happen, but really thank you for all your sharing and your perspective. And I think it's really, really good for people to hear that. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Well, I would like to now ask you some questions for my nice and kind conversations on behalf of Operation Bless Everything. So, yeah, I'd like to start with your story, because you mentioned that your surname was Hellbreaker, but I remember you also told me something about where you were born and raised was another synchronicity that hinted your future path. So tell me more about where you were born and raised and being the Hellbreaker.
Yeah, so I come from a place that's called Heel, and in dialect in the south of Holland it's called Hell. So it's really interesting, the name, like Hell and Heel. And I didn't like it when I was growing up. I couldn't wait to go away. But now during my journey, now I feel like coming back to heal every time I get back there. And it's only later I see the beauty of the place. In the beginning, that is all you know, and you want to go away and further into the world. And then later on, when you come back, then you see like, hey, it's really beautiful. And also, it's the place called Heal. And my mom, I'm a healer, and I give healings and healing courses. But my mom also gives healings. She gives the same healings. Like I give Ankh healings with the Ankh. I can let you see. It's a symbol of like it's like a life force symbol, and I give healings with the Ankh. And I saw my mother's transformation while she was doing the course. I was like, I need to learn that as well. And yeah, I was in the beginning, I was rejecting the spirituality of my mom, but only after I got a burnout from work, I was more open to it. I was going into yoga and meditation.
And
And
what was
then
the spirituality of your mom?
no, she was like giving, she was doing yoga, she was doing numerology, doing tarot cards, she was doing psychonomy, like how the face reading and palm reading. She was doing all sorts of things, but it started, I was really rejecting that. And then only after I got my spiritual awakening, I was like, yeah, give me a card. And then later we go for crystal shopping together. And later on, we're doing healings together on people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now it's really beautiful because she has a similar journey and we can really share about that together. So that's really beautiful.
Okay, and so what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little? Tell me about more of your beginning journey.
I think I never, every week I want something else. I saw also like a notebook from the past, and that moment, then I wanted to be a teacher, then a veterinary, then a firefighter. So I like all sorts of things. I had like no idea. And but I'm always wanted to, like, I'm very much about like justice. Well, from a really young age already, I was always like even on elementary school they could choose me to like being a representative of the students. But then later on, I always wanted to help people and be a voice for the people that don't have a voice. And I worked at a very long time at the social service. And I really loved it. I really loved helping people, but I felt constructed, like it's like I felt like limited by the system. There were always like rules and you can only do this. But I always found like the gray areas and the things that are a bit different. And then I had a lot of discussions with everybody to make that happen. And then I was like, yeah, this is not making me happy. So I need to make sure that I make myself happy first. And then I quit my job, I quit my house and let everything go. And I went to South America and started traveling there.
Okay, so you traveled to South America. You mentioned earlier that your relationship with your mother changed when you had your spiritual awakening. Was this before or after you went to South America?
That was before that. And
Before.
because I was already, while I was doing my job, I did already a yoga teacher training, a Kundalini yoga teacher training, and I was giving meditations also at my job, doing in the break where the city council normally meets, or like the both sides, the city council or the wedding room of then we were like meditating, and I had quite some people in my group. So I was doing that during the breaks work. I was sharing meditation, and then I was doing after I start doing the healing courses and then massage course, and then I just wanted to know. It's like I did so much courses and retreats and books and workshops, and I was like a sponge. I was like taking all in as much as possible I was gonna take. I want to learn. And but now I want to just share what I know, like what I'm learning. I let that people know, and my journey, but like everything what I can help people with a healing, like with courses, with I do a lot of talks, and also like, because people can change when you're like your perceptions changes or your beliefs changes, that can really change someone's whole view on life, and it can really change someone's lives. Like, hey, you can think about it differently, you can just like worry less. And I want to make myself as much as possible, as happy as I can be and as healthy as I can be. And just people see that and feel that. And then they come to me like, hey, can you help me with this or this? And people will just come to me. Like yesterday I had healing, and that was really beautiful. And this morning I woke up, someone wanted to do like a sort of weight loss and detox session with me to share about that, because like I also went on a whole journey of that, like I really about that as well, because in the past I was drinking a lot, I was much bigger, and I had a whole journey in that as well. And I also want to help people with that. Like, how can you feel better in yourself, like mindset, but also body-wise? And I had all sorts of things. I was like strictly vegan for a while. Then I was like raw vegan for a while, and now like as much as possible fruits, but I make exceptions for only not meat, but other things I do. And I just feel good, and I know that like with good choices, I feel like the better I take care of myself, the better universe also takes care of me.
Nice. So yeah, you mentioned yoga and meditation. You mentioned detoxing and healthy food, and even like psychological things like trauma healing and mindset. And so what knowledge or information do you have that you feel could benefit people the most? And if there's more than one thing you feel you have to express, feel free to mention more than one.
Yeah, there's so many like that. There's so many things. That's why I also made a webinar for like I call it hacking the matrix, like biohacking. Like I give cheat codes on all levels, like mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, and also financially. I want to help people break free on all levels. But I think it starts with what you said, self-love, cultivating that inside yourself, and being more kinder to yourself, more caring for yourself. And once you do that, once you have more energy and more love, then you just want to share that. And because most people are in survival mode, they don't have extra energy to like take care of other people or take it. Because they're in survival mode, and a lot of people are like surviving on a lot of different levels. And I just want to help people, like saying like, if you take better care of your body, if you take better care of your mindset, if you take better care of your health wise, you increase your energy, you feel better about yourself, and you feel also and just better in your body. And then you have much more energy. And then I feel like I was like unlimited amount of energy always. And I just want people know that that is possible for themselves, and to feel better inside themselves and about themselves. And I think that is, and also to be more in the body. And that's what I feel like in spirituality, you come like the spirit, it comes through, but we are here to embody that. There's a reason we are on this earth. There's a lot of people just want to fly away and be somewhere else. No, I came here to hear, and I came here to enjoy the most, make the most of this, and then enjoy this reality as much as possible. And I feel like, I really feel like I know the way for myself and others who resonate with it. I feel like I know the way for myself, and I share this, like what helps for me, and you can do this too. And that's why I have like so many things. I want to have as much possible things in my backpack, because I think like energetic healing, I believe in it, I see people feeling much better, much lighter, letting go of things that they don't need anymore, the past, like letting go of things from past life that they don't even know they have, or traumas that they didn't even know. And they feel much lighter. Like yesterday, the healing, and there was someone I was like helping letting go of like ancestral karma. And I was so happy for this person. I felt so much love from all the ancestors, and like, yeah, they really love you and they're happy for you. And I was like, they're cheering you on. And I was like, I felt so much love and so much appreciation. And so I'm like, whatever people come to me, what resonates, like I'm here, I can help you with this, you can help me with this. And but not everybody's open to like all the information. Like, okay, then we do yoga, meditation, we do this kind of food, which we can help you, or this kind of meditation, like, because yoga, it's like 1.5 hours that you really like submerge yourself in it. And I also understand in this crazy reality where we live in, not everybody can make that time for themselves as well.
Amazing. So much of what you just said, I resonate with and inspired by. Yeah, particularly what you were saying about how so many people want to escape this reality, and whether those via guided meditations or psychedelics or ceremony after ceremony after ceremony. But and I do believe that we can get great benefits from these things, but we incarnated in this dimension for a reason, and reincarnated in this reality for a reason. And this is where the work has to be done. We can get things from other dimensions, but it's to help us in this dimension. You also said something about hacking the matrix, which was extremely synchronous, because I've recently written a poem, and two of the last lines were personal demons shrink like end of level bosses, nerfed with cheat codes hacking the matrix we silver surf with. And you literally said cheat codes.
Yeah, we're here to find the cheat codes and bring that in for others. Like we took like 10 years, 15, 20 years researching, finding out, and then we want to share that. Like you don't need to do that long about it. We already have some tools and possibilities what you can use, and you can get there even quicker. And that is also with psychedelics. Yeah, that is really amazing tools to reach into other dimension, find like a lot of wisdom, and also the feeling, like how you can feel more yourself, and how everything is like sacred and amazing, and everything needs to be like it is. And sometimes you need those reminders. But it's indeed we are doing it here. The homework is here, the assignment, everything, and like the more like when you are really with your intention here, I want to learn, I want to expand my consciousness, the right thing will come always on your path. And then it becomes really a beautiful mystery school. Life is one big mystery school where you keep learning every day and keep really, I feel like my thing is always it gets better and better. And I really love what I'm doing in all levels, but I also really love frequencies. I'm working also with a frequency device, and it also gives like individual rife frequencies. And then whatever I'm doing, I can send those frequencies to me, and it's also really benefiting me and also benefiting others. So like to say, like I have like an ancient device and a really new modern device. And whoever like comes to me resonates with one of the other, I help
What's
them.
the modern device called?
The modern device is called the Healy, and it's with the individual rife frequencies, and you can choose like energy or balance, and also for pains you have plasters what you can put yourself, like if you have pain in your shoulder or neck, but also the meridians, also like detoxing. And frequencies for all sorts of things, and also the chakras, And you have different version of it. So you have version that you can just work on yourself, and you have a version that you can also send frequencies in the ethers, even frequencies of Bach flowers, crystal souls, crystal frequencies, and I can even make diagnosis of people about like which, like of the aura or the chakras, which one needs to be balanced. And then first you have a diagnose that's really like very detailed. And until now, I have everybody looks very spot on, and it's also good for you to know like where you need to work on as well. But then it gives like harmonizing frequencies, and you feel different. So it's really interesting how that works as well, that device. So I want to have as much as different things in my backpack where I can help people with who come to me for whatever.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I'd heard of a device called a Reich machine or something along those lines before. So maybe it was something that uses similar.
Yeah, it's right frequencies. That's our healing frequencies. And you have also different machines that send us, like if you have this disease, they send this frequency for healing. And this device does the individual checks which frequencies you need, and it sends also the frequencies, but also the right frequencies to people. And but you can find also a lot of frequencies on YouTube, what are healing frequencies that people can heal, and that is, I work with that as well, and I really love that is possible. Like you can, because we are like all frequencies and energy, and we can change that in certain ways. We can change it with yoga, with meditation, with music, with frequencies, with exercises. There's so many different ways we can like tune ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so there was a amazing sound healer in London called Ashera Hart, and she taught me quite a lot. She had the singing bowls and she had the tuning forks, and I've also been listening and using frequencies on YouTube, like 111 hertz and 528 hertz, and combining those with positive affirmations. But yeah, I do find sound healing is really powerful. It's all just vibration. You mentioned something earlier about being a voice for the people that don't have a voice, and I suspect that helped inspire human light bulbs. So yeah, before we go, tell me a little bit more about human light bulbs, what inspired you, and where people can find it.
Yeah, I have my YouTube channel where I have the podcast on as well. So I'll share that with you, and then people can find that underneath. I always love talking with people that are different, sharing their light with the world, their unique view on it, of helping people inspire others. So I felt like I'm gonna invite the people that inspire me to the podcast, so other people can find them too. So they were like also get inspired by that. So I had already really cool people on my podcast. Yeah, so I'm really happy with it, and I'm very enthusiastic. And like recently, a small part of it went viral as well. Someone shared a reel of it on his Facebook and TikTok, and it went viral. So it was really cool.
What was the subject that went viral? What were they talking about in the viral clip?
Well, about what's coming, like in the future, like about like the whole reality will change, and he was really about like the golden age, and he was sharing on his website about like meditations, like a whole healing meditation with whales, and it's really interesting, and it was a really cool talk. This was Eddie Abraham, and he shared the reel, and he was like 188,000 views on Facebook, almost 100,000 views on TikTok. And I was like, and it was like a really cool talk, but it's like, I didn't know him that well, but I felt like, I was like, I need to ask him for my podcast. And it was like really synchronistic and really beautiful. And he first wanted me to see that website, do the healing meditation. And it was really beautiful healing meditation. And then I had a talk, and I was like, while I was doing the healing meditation, I was like, yeah, this is really beautiful. And I'm really happy that I can share this with people. But I also had Steve Nobel. He has really amazing meditations on YouTube as well. I had Nikki Hamid. He is also really has a really amazing, really loving, great books as well, and really, yeah, beautiful shares what he shares with people. I had like so many people like already on my like, and I'm very enthusiastic about all of them, and I'm really grateful for all of them. The talks that I had till now, and also now, because everybody has such a different view and how they see the world and how they are helping people, and people need to see that, like, yeah, like being inspired by them, and what is your unique voice or your unique way, what you want to share with the world. And I also had one person that was really sharing about like child abuse, about his youth, and how he calls out people that are doing that. And so I have like all different different beings that I have on my podcast with all different messages. So it's like for everybody, it's like, oh, this is about this is about this. And that is again like giving people different ways that they can also find inspiration. And now it's really beautiful with you, and the poetry is like, yeah, like I had the poetry like a workshop of you, and that inspired me again, like to write that. And then I was like, I was really excited about that. And I'm like also now writing books. And so I like, there's so many things, like a lot of times when people doing certain things, it's because you get excited about it, because somewhere inside of you, you also have this that you want to create. And how do you want to create? Because we are all creative beings. And once you have that connection with source or like your intuition, you want to keep creating. I'm also, oh, what's my next course? What's my next book? What's my next webinar? What's my next talk? And I really love that I can do that from wherever I am. And now I'm like, I've even Mexico, so it's just recently. So I want to let people also know, like, you can do what you want to do and be where you want to be, and it's all possible. It's all possible to break whatever you like, habits, beliefs, things that you thought you always do, and make sure that you can do what makes you the most happy. Yeah, go after that. What makes you happy, and then you can make others happy with that as well.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, there was so many inspirational things that you said in that last period. But I was inspired by what you said about the viral clip, and thinking about my answer to your question earlier. So I'm going to express something that's slightly off topic but feels relevant intuitively. As much as I saw the future going in two directions, there's what could be perceived as a negative, more superficial direction, and what could be perceived as a more positive direction. I feel that I can't, or I shouldn't, talk about the future in these terms without thinking about and talking about the age of Aquarius, Satya Yuga, and the precession of the equinoxes. And as much as things may seem dark now in some ways, a lot of different cultures have believed that a golden age is coming. A lot of cultures, and Satya Yuga, I believe, is a Hindu term. The age of Aquarius is probably more from a Western perspective. And Graham Hancock speaks a lot about the precession of the equinoxes. And that's a nearly 26,000 year cycle. So if 2012 was the turning of the ages, if 2012 was the beginning of the age of Aquarius and Satya Yuga, on a 26,000 year cycle, we would only be at the very beginning of the very first steps into a golden age currently. So it would make sense that we would still be seeing some of the darkness of the previous age. But it would also make sense if at this point things may seem like they're going in two directions, but we're actually moving towards the light and moving towards more harmony and positivity. So yeah, regardless of how things look now, I'd like to add the optimistic option of entering a golden age of Satya Yuga and the age of Aquarius. Just
Yeah, it's really happening. Yeah. Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't feel that good. No, it's like if we're getting more into our power, we're feeling more like, hey, more people are getting it, and we're like, hey, we're cruising here, and you can join us in more freedom and more love. And that's why like I feel like I have more followers every day. Like they get it, more people getting it. Like we're the pioneers, and we were all the time alone doing our thing, and now more people understand it, are more open to it, and like what's actually happening. And yeah, we're like, everything needed to be like it is for us to like come out of those dark and ages, and to come into the light and come into like unity and love, and that's like a freedom, like that you have more and more freedom to be who you are and to do what you want to do, and to let people know that everything is possible, and the only limit is a lot of times your own mind.
Excellent. Yeah, I feel like me sharing opened your heart further and you became even more inspiring. So that's brilliant.
Yeah, I can really because I'm very enthusiastic about the future. I really like, even though I don't know what exactly is going, but I'm very enthusiastic about it because my reality only gets better and better.
Good
And
affirmation.
that is
My reality only gets better and better. I'm going to remember that. Good affirmation.
like my reality gets better and better and better every day and every moment. And that is like affirmations and belief that can also really like, and I feel like we're now in the age of, before you have to see something to believe it, then you needed to believe it to see it, and now we're in the age of knowing. Just like yesterday I saw a podcast and someone saying like, people that now awake, those are like the veterans from lots of different things already in the past. Like we're doing this again and again and again, like that awakening, and then helping others to awake. And I got goosebumps everywhere, and my whole body was like, yeah, we're coming back again, and we're doing it again. And this time, this time we were much more people, and we're gonna succeed. It's like, and a lot of people say already, love has won, victory for the light. Saying it's like a lot of mediums saying it's already done on an energetic plane or an astral fields. It's already done, and we just like, it's still coming into this reality, and people are more and more realizing that and living that.
Amazing. Love wins. I like that vibration. So how else can this interview help you? What projects or products could we promote for you? You say you do online courses, you've got your talk show. What will we be putting links to at the bottom so people can find more of you if they like your vibe, and they can get more of your vibe elsewhere?
Yeah, so I'm just I sent you my link tree. It's all, everything is in there. You can find me on Facebook with my normal name, Janneke Hellebrekers, and everywhere else I'm MissHellbreaker. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Rumble, because in COVID times people got censored. I was like, I'm not gonna.
There was more censorship on YouTube than one.
Yeah. So So, but now you can talk more about on YouTube as well. But I put everything on Rumble, so everything will still be there when it gets when it comes again. When it's like when you certain things you can't talk about it. I don't want to be stopped by anything, so that's why I started also Rumble. And I'm also on TikTok. I have a website, MissHellbreaker.com. People can message me for healing or like do a healing course with me. So I also give a course so people can learn how to heal others again. And people can also through me get that healing device, the Healy. If anybody has any help, needs any help with anything, just send me a PM and I see in what way I can be of service to anybody. And I'm thinking of doing again Kundalini yoga meditation. I did that for a while online, and it's coming maybe. Also, again, if I do that, I have anyway also a yoga group on Facebook. All the links are in there. Yoga group on Facebook, and I put a lot of sets and meditations in there that people can already do. And I also give yoga meditation for children. It's a magic school for kids and teens, for an online magic school for all over the world, for free for children. I also participate in that.
I had
So
a child's group which was called Wizard School.
oh, that's cool. Yeah. They also had a school where they did like with a wand. So it's really cool school. I participate in that as well. So I have like, a lot of things that I do. My YouTube, you can find me on Facebook. I also share a lot of things. And and short videos I do also on TikTok.
Excellent. Okay,
Whenever I feel like sharing.
one last question. If you chose to be born now, if you chose to incarnate at this time now, why do you think your soul or spirit chose to be here and now? It's a big question, but I think listen already. It's a big question, but I think you may have answered it in pieces already at different points of your journey.
Yeah. So we are all meant here for a reason, and we're all meant here, but it's like this is gonna be the most excited times that I don't know, but it's gonna be so amazing, and I feel like I don't want to miss this party, but I also want to let people. I am here also to remind people of like it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be good. We're gonna overcome all of this. We're gonna unite. We're gonna have one big party. Start already celebrating. Yeah, we didn't come here to suffer and wither and stuff. Like, no, I want people to remind you, you are here to have a good time, to change this. Like, if you let go of like trauma that you have and start healing yourself and start prioritizing your health and your well-being, you can make a much better reality for yourself and start like being more happy and share that with others, like sharing your happiness and your vibes and your like enthusiasm and your inspiration and making other people more like. I like that quote, like be so happy that other people become happy by just seeing you.
Amazing.
And yeah,
well, really, really positive. Well, I've really enjoyed it. It's been inspirational.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just want to help others and inspire others to also help themselves.
Excellent. Oh, brilliant. Well, I look forward to investigating your human light bulbs and seeing some more of your inspiring beings. And I hope to speak to you again. There's a few specific subjects that I could spend more time on, or we could focus on specifically, and when we find more areas that that resonate for us both, that we can explore further and deeper. But thank you very, very, very much for your time, and yeah, thank you very, very much for interviewing me as well.
Thank you too very much. And thank everybody for watching this. Yeah, all the links we'll put underneath so you can find us. And yeah, so really thank you, and thank you for being here, everybody. And yeah, all the best for everybody.
All the best. Okay, so thank you, brothers and sisters, for watching. Love yourselves, love each other, and remember you are Mother Nature. Love.
Bye bye.
Excellent.